When someone says that they are prophesying, how do you know that they are not just yackity yak, or they are actually saying, thus says Yahweh, accurately? Hi, this is Barry Phillips with 10-Minute Torah, Day 3 of Shoftim. We are in Deuteronomy chapter 18. And it says in verse number 9, when you come into the land which Yahweh your Elohim has given you, do not learn to do according to the abominations of those nations, those goyim. And then it describes various works of the dark arts and various pagan rituals. It says in verse 13 that we are to be perfect, we are to be tamim, whole and complete, before Yahweh our Elohim. For the nations whom you are possessing, do listen to those using magic and to diviners. But as for you, Yahweh your Elohim has not appointed such for you. Yahweh your Elohim shall raise up for you a prophet like me from your midst, from your brothers. Listen to him. And then it says at the bottom of the page here in verse 20, but the prophet who presumes to speak a word in my name, which I have not commanded him to speak, or who speaks in the names of other mighty ones, even that prophet shall die. And when you say in your heart, how do we know the word which Yahweh has not spoken? When the prophet speaks in the name of Yahweh and the word is not or comes not, that is the word which Yahweh has not spoken. That prophet has spoken it presumptuously. Do not be afraid of him. So, we are, number one, not to adopt the mindset, the listening practices of those that are around us. Let's just reorient ourselves here. We are, as the house of Israel, Ephraim, the house of Joseph, we are living, most of us, if not all of us, in exile. We are in the land of a exile host. I know this program goes into a variety of nations. So wherever it is that you might be, you are living in the culture and the traditions, the perspectives, the world orientations of your exile host nation. And we were raised to be accustomed to these things. This has been our natural inclination, our reasonable environment. This is just the way we were raised. Yah is calling us out of the nations, not only physically. At some point in the future, he will send forth his messengers and gather us out of the four corners of the earth. He's calling us to this book. We are being called back to a different worldview and understanding. And so where all of those that are around us easily, they turn their ear toward whatever is being said. They listen to the newscasts, they read the newspapers, they read the magazines, they hear the media promotions of thought and what is presented as fact. And they'll hear people say, well, this is just the way it is. And they listen to that. And it's very easy for us to say, I'm going to listen to that too, because it sounds reasonably good to me. Someone does not have to stand and, in a weird garb with a beard and a staff in his hand and start saying, I prophesy to prophesy. They can broadcast, they can be a prognosticator, they can be a pundit of a particular slant of thinking, a promoter of such, and in effect, they are indeed prophesying. They are declaring how things are and how they are, should, and will be. Are we listening to them? How do we know that Yah is using them or not using them? It has to have a love for truth. even when it goes against what you're wanting. When people are telling you what you want to hear, it's so natural just to follow suit and just jump on the bandwagon and say, let's go. Especially when it's about you feeling good and about your world being better and about you and more about you. Instead of the Hebraic understanding, it's about us. If someone is promising us that things are going to be better for us as an individual, our eyes get big. But when this is what he is saying to the body of Messiah. This is what it's about to the community, the whole of us. Then we realize I may not particularly, personally realize the full benefit, but if it's an enhancement to all that is around me, then I myself, I am benefited. If my brother is made better, I am better. And so Moshe is saying here, I'm going to say, or he is saying to us, Yah is going to raise up a prophet like me. Catch the clue. Here's something that is very important. Number one, that is that if those in Yeshua's day, we're still asking Yochanan the Immerser and Yeshua, are you the prophet? Then Jeremiah and Daniel and Isaiah and Zechariah and Hosea and Ezekiel, they did not count these men as great a prophet as they were to be that prophet. There was yet one to come. Secondly, if Yeshua came and taught against Moshe and against the Torah, or in any way suggested that he was, by his work and his ministry, doing away with the responsibility, the accountability, the requirement of keeping the Torah, that he is not like Moshe. If Moshe is saying he's going to raise up a prophet like me, that prophet that is raised up has to agree with Moshe. So if we are re-identifying and reimagining that Yeshua is someone other than he really is, we're following a false version of him. And so Yah says, very simply, here is a test. When someone prophesies something and it does not come to pass, I didn't send them. Herein is a problem that has been resolved by modern prophets who have come up with this theoretical doctrine, may I say heretical doctrine, that says that we are not prophesying according to the Old Testament model, but the New Testament model of grace. Where in the Old, you had to prophesy accurately 100% of the time, and the grace era of prophecy, we can practice prophecy until we learn to get it right. And so they'll set up microphones and one after the other can come up and prophesy things. And it may be an idea they had. It may be something that came to them while they were standing in line. Maybe it's something that they want to say. But if it doesn't come to pass, Yah is saying, I didn't send them 100% of the time. If someone prophesies and it does not come to pass, they are not Yah's prophet. How can we trust the word of the prophets of the Most High if it is in a practiced version and that there's grace to cover over our prophetic mistakes? Well, I got that wrong. I didn't hear that right. Well, if you got it wrong and you didn't hear it right, then how did you say, thus says Yahweh, when Yahweh didn't say it? Be careful what you're listening to. And when you see a red flag, back off. Watch and see, it has some validity as a test. But mark those that have prophesied and it didn't work. because Yah didn't send them. But I hope you'll send you back here tomorrow. Until then, shalom.